Hi, how's everybody doing on this Saturday? It's rainy, a little chilly. Not like last weekend though, when we had all that snow and frigid temperatures, but it is rainy. And when it's rainy like this and it's gray like this, I sort of like to get in my lab. I've watched some of my cooking shows this morning, and I've had my coffee, and I've had my chats with my mom and my sister. And so I said, you know what, let me get in here and make something for the week. And I know, like you, every time you turn on the news now, all you're hearing is about gas prices and food prices and inflation and the cost of everything going up. So I've had conversations with a couple friends and my sisters and my mom, my dad, my brother, and it's just how can we make the dollar stretch? And I don't know about you, but I feel like I made more money 30 years ago, 20 years ago, than I do now. But now I do make more money, but it's not going as far as my money used to go 30 years ago. And that's why I felt like I made more money back then because I was able to see that the dollar could get me a whole lot more, especially in the food area. And when you're talking about cooking on a lower budget, or maybe you're not even bringing it down to a lower budget, you're still spending the same money that you were spending before on your groceries, but you're just not getting as much as you used to. And what are they calling us now? Uh, Shrinkage inflation, where they're putting less items in your packaging and they're making the containers more small, or they're doing creative things with containers where they'll push the bottom up really high for your ice cream, and then now you only got this much ice cream when you used to have this much ice cream whenever that pushed in bottom wasn't in your containers. So I was having this conversation with my family and friends, and I said, you know what? I've had it with the pretty cooking and the gourmet things. And although it's fun and these cooking shows really get you inspired to try different things and different herbs and different vegan options and spices and things like that, I'm going back to where our moms and our aunts and our grandmothers and our uncles used to cook enough food to stretch. And not even stretch between the family members, but to stretch into maybe a day or two later as leftovers and create those leftovers into a whole nother meal. So I went in my refrigerator. I always see what I have first. I always see what I have in my pantry first. I always see what I have in my refrigerator first. And then I build a recipe off of that. And I explore other recipes and put my little twist on things. So I found that I had a pound of ground, grass-fed, organic meat in the freezer. And I went to the store the other night, and there was a package. They had packages of sweet Italian sausage in the bin. And because I went later in the evening, they had actually discounted the package of the sweet hot sausage all the way down to, it was like $3 for a pound and a half of sweet sausage, and it was a pretty decent brand too, and it was still fresh. But because it's coming to the end of the day and it's getting ready to expire, then they start putting discounts on there. So you might want to go in the grocery store and scan around in the evening or the early morning of items that they've discounted that are good items, solid, substantial items, but they got to get them off the shelves and they rather not throw them out. So they do give us a chance now to snatch those products. So I got that, and I picked up a pack of mushrooms at Aldi's, and it was $1.19. And I got some pretty nice mushrooms in there. See these nice big ones? One dived off. Food is life. It like must be alive still. And I got a chopped onion, and what I did today was I minced garlic and I put in some Italian herbs, and I did an egg, and I did some panko breadcrumbs, kosher salt, pepper, and I did put one of my secret ingredients into the meatballs that I made today. So I've got 2 pans of meatballs ready to go in the oven. The oven is preheated at 350, and I'm going to go ahead and stick both pans in those ovens. And I'm only going to cook them for about 10 minutes because a couple of the recipes that I have, they are going to create sauces and use a vegetable broth or a beef broth to then further simmer them so that they are fully cooked. And when you cook them like that, you're not going to get a dried meatball. You're going to get actually a meatball that's juicy, and it will enhance the flavors of whatever items that you put in the meatballs. But I did chop up an onion, and I minced some fresh garlic, and I think I've already said that. Salt and pepper, Italian herbs. And there's a spice that I love for Italian foods. My lasagnas, maybe sometimes even chili, and manicotti, stuffed shells, things like that. One thing I noticed about the recipes that I was exploring was most of the meatball recipes call for a little bit of nutmeg or allspice, and I thought, what is that? Why would you put nutmeg? So as I was reading it, and I didn't feel like digging around for nutmeg in this kitchen, you want to call it kitchen. I said, well, wait a minute. I've always put a pinch or two of this particular spice in my sauces and things like that for Italian dishes. And it has the components of the cloves and the nutmegs and things like that you're looking for. And it's this. Chinese 5-spice. If you don't have Chinese 5-spice in your cupboard, your pantry, on your counter, you need to get some. You would not believe how it enhances the flavors in your items, your recipes. It just weaves all the spices and the herbs together. It's absolutely delicious, and you only need a punch. Maybe I'm thinking about a cocktail punch. I don't know. Cinnamon, star anise, fennel, cloves, ginger, licorice, Szechuan peppercorn, and white pepper. And a lot of people use it for roasted meats and soy sauce braised items. It's amazing. I'm sure you can find this in your local grocery store, or if you like to shop at the Asian grocers, and I'm sure they have the best there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these meatballs in my oven, and I'm going to cook them for about 10 minutes just to get them started in cooking, and then I'll go ahead and start the next process with it. So I'm going to start the sauces and while the meatballs are cooking, and then I'll come back with part 2 of where I'm at with these meatballs. And I'm still digging stuff out of the refrigerator and the freezer and the pantry to figure out what can I put together, because I'm not hitting a grocery store on the weekend. I'm not rolling like that. I don't roll like that. So I got enough things in here, thank you Jesus, that I can create something and have a decent meal for everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean family, friends, are going to go ahead and get a dish or two, a plate or two of what I'm cooking today. So yes, I am going to share today. You guys are always saying, okay, Dawn, where's my plate? Well, I am going to share some plates today. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.